Tom ain't here because Tom's sick. He got to take his daughter later to the. So I'm just saying that because there's one more of us usually here. That's my brother Tom, the middle brother. I'm the oldest, Tony. This is Tim. We got Mom over there and Dad. First question I've got for y'all is, if they decide to do a reality show, do you really want to do it? It'd be about 4 weeks out of your life that they'd be following us around. I'm sure trying to get whatever is interesting and funny and weird and bizarre, and there's plenty of that up here. Not necessarily us, sometimes us, but pretty much us. but you know, there's plenty of other stuff we can show them, indoctrinate them into. They sort of, you've been talking back and forth with me about, so what's the hook? You know, how do you get back up there? What does the family do? They want it to be like a Duck Dynasty type thing. I've been kind of trying to tell them, well, it could be a whole lot more than that, but still they want something that brings the family together. And I'll tell you my ideas more about that, but first of all, I just want to know from everybody's point of view, would you want to be on a reality show? Is that too crazy? Do you mind cameras being around, you know, as long as they're not doing things that embarrass you or anything in life? How do you feel about it, Mom?
Well,
I mean, really?
I don't really know. I don't think I do anything too interesting, except raise these 3 crazy boys.
Yeah, but
each and every one of them's different in their own ways. Been raised by the same mama and daddy, but all entirely different. But
we are very different.
right.
And maybe that's one of the things that makes the possibility of the show interesting to them. Is, you know, it's the 4 of y'all up here still in Appalachia. You got your kids and everything. It's me going off down the mountain, but still connected. Always wanting to come back, but you know, never quite seen the opportunity to do that. And now maybe the opportunity is going to come back where I'll be able to come back to the mountains. I don't know. That's what, y'all know what I'm facing anyway with that. Dad, how do you feel about, would you mind people following you around with a camera and you meeting your friends and the people you encounter and stuff like that? How do you feel about it?
Yeah. I'd want to look at it before they put it out in public. See what I wanted them to see and what I did.
Don't want them to see you picking your butt or something.
There you go.
Well, I got that, you know. I know you have to urinate a lot nowadays.
Tony, I hope you're going to edit this.
Well, yeah, somewhat.
But we've left the mountains too, you know, and come back.
Well, yeah, I mean, you went to Charlotte when Tom was born and all. We lived down there for a little while. What, about 4 or 5 years?
Hugh and I went down there after we first got married till they took him into the military.
Oh, really? You were there then before
yes.
I was born?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yes. And then we moved back to Charlotte in 64.
Yeah. I went.
We moved down there in 60, went into the military in 61, he did. And then we moved back down there in 64. And then we came back after Tom was born.
It's about 1970 or somewhere.
We back and forth between the mountains and Charlotte.
But y'all both from up here. I'm from up here. Tim's born in Morganton. Tom's born in Charlotte.
Right.
But we've lived our whole lives here, rather, except for me, you know, since college and everything I've been able to find that was really good was down the hill. But, you know, what they're looking for sure is entertainment. You know, what you got Tim, who does crazy things in the woods, lumber. People find it interesting. You got Tom, who is law enforcement and all kinds of craziness, and also does his sawmill, and Tom's just kind of crazy anyway.
Yeah.
But he's cool and he's funny and he's opinionated, and I'm sure that's what they're looking for, is a lot of what you believe, what you think.
And any movie Tom sees, he can tell you every word in it.
Tom's crazy. He's got almost a tape recorder for a brain.
Right. Always was that.
But he always seems to record the foolishest parts. No, Tom's awesome.
Ever since he was a little boy, you'd give him a part in a play and read it to him one time and he knew it. is Tom.
Well, Dad, given I keep coming back to you somewhat because you're, the one that, I mean, if you don't want to be a part of it, then that would be difficult, I'm sure, because they'd like to have the old, father watching over everything, calling us idiots or whatever you want, but yeah.
Now, I don't know. Have to wait and see.
Well, there's a lot that would have to be worked out. The way I see it working, this is just me, is I see, I talked to Tim a little bit about last night. Let's say they're looking for what they call their hook, and I'd suggest.
Well, now, what do they call, what is a hook?
Well,
We want something that catches people's attention.
something that builds the show around. Why is it even happening?
Why would it be interesting for anybody to watch it? There's the storyline, you might say.
And then everything else spins off of that.
Yeah.
So, the thing I was thinking about is, okay, I've been marketing stuff for the last 20 years, whether it's Christian tours, whether it's any of 100 different freelance jobs I've done, or whether it's been Blue Ridge Healthcare, Cleveland County Healthcare System, Carolina Healthcare System. I've been spending the last 25 years of my life trying to make other people look good. I'm wondering what can I do to make my brothers look good? Do they have a business that could be transformed with marketing? And by that I mean, you find awesome lumber. You sell it to people who sell it for far more than you sell it to them for.
Sure.
Tom cuts beautiful lumber. It's beautiful, man. It's awesome. It's as smooth coming out as, I mean, you could almost make furniture. You could almost make furniture out of it without planing it. I know you got to plane it, and it needs to be kiln dried and all these things. But I don't know. I wonder, what if your Glenn Brothers, whatever you call it, lumber or whatever, could be turned into something where you could open up new markets and you could sell it. You could make 5 times the amount off your wood that you're selling it for now. I don't know. I mean, how hard is it to find exclusive kind of cool pieces of lumber that, I mean, it's harder and harder, I'm sure.
It ain't that hard, really. It's just a small marketplace. It's a very small niche. It ain't like there's room for just tons of it to flood the market. And,
Right.
Somebody that's really good at it is the guy down here in Spruce Pine that does the bark and stuff.
Yeah.
Marty's got an excellent marketing team, and they market stuff all over the country. Of course, now he devotes his life to it too.
Yeah.
And I guess after talking to you last night, what my thought on it was, and I don't know if you'll like it or not, but this is my thought, is cameras rolling or cameras not, or a show or no show, if as far as what you want to do, the decision that I made a few years back was that this is where I wanted to live.
Yeah.
It didn't matter if I could make a living, if I could make a better wage somewhere else than I could make here, but this is where I wanted to live. And if you want to live here, you'll figure out some way to make your living. And now, you may not make as much money as you do, and probably you won't. Unless you get in the stuff that you're doing, yeah, you might. There's people up here, there's a guy I sell firewood to who edits books from his home. Works on a computer, makes really good money doing it, But anyway, I digress a little bit. The mom and dad's here. I remember Dad telling me one time, this was in what year did you retire from work, from down to mine?
96, I guess, 96.
Somewhere like 95, 90, sometime about the time I was graduating college. Dad, I think he showed me his paycheck, and he said, I'm right now making what they offered me to go to Atlanta for, what they offered to pay me to go to Atlanta and work in 1970. He just had it, took him 26 years to catch up to that same wage he would have been making, when I was born. Mm-hmm. So obviously Mom and Dad made a decision that this is where they wanted to live. They could have made more money in Charlotte, clearly could have made a lot more in Atlanta, but didn't want to raise us down there, wanted to live here. This is the lifestyle they wanted. So to me, that's your hook, is
You just want to come back.
is right. Why would you want to come back?
Well, I mean,
Because you know the opportunities are.
I have, here's the reason I want to come back, which is probably not what people in Hollywood want to hear, is that right now I'm in a position where I can make about the same kind of money I make now almost anywhere I go. I mean, I could go to South America if I've got a good internet hookup, and I can do freelance work for about anybody. I can't do video.
Mhm.
Now, you know, the two things that I do primarily are video and web design. I do web design anywhere.
Mhm.
And people seem to really like what I do from the web point of view, and so they keep hiring me. From a video point of view, what I'd like to get in more and more into is real estate, shooting high-end real estate, and Asheville is the place to do it.
Mhm.
And so I've been working with some real estate companies from a freelance point of view to shoot high-end real estate. And, you know, I mean, I would like to do documentaries. I could come up here, I'd love to do a documentary about this area. But, you know, they may not find that interesting at all. I could move back up here and reintegrate, and the story could be about me reintegrating with this community.
Right.
But just for a little bit, just for the sake of people that are watching this thing, let's talk a little bit about the community, because whatever their hook is, or whatever they settle on, whatever is most feasible, I think that honestly is most feasible, is the guy that learned all these skills down the valley, come back up here, or maybe it's not about me, maybe it's about you, or it's about something else, I don't know. But the thing I think would make the show float is meeting all the people. Do we all agree that? That's what's really cool about this place, isn't it?
Well, that's why Daddy and I came back up here to live in these mountains. We could raise you in Charlotte, we could raise you in Atlanta, we could raise you any place. But the thing about it, you wouldn't known anything about nature. You wouldn't known about hunting.
Well, your whole personality probably would have been different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I wouldn't have learned how to throw knives
I
and
gotta get
hunt
some coffee.
and
fish and all these, and you know how to survive, shoot a gun, and you know, and I wouldn't have had the same values I got now. And here comes Dad walking
Went around
through
that
the midst
way,
of everything.
Papa.
Just be careful. Can you get through there?
well, and I never had to worry about y'all being on drugs.
No, pretty pure life. Although there are drugs up there.
There's
now.
drugs. There are drugs around, and they were drugs at that time. But
Yeah.
the way we raised you to not destroy your bodies,
Right.
and you ate healthy.
True.
But we raised our gardens, and I can.
Well, we came up hard.
We
I mean,
came up hard. We
but
had
we were happy,
absolutely nothing.
super happy though.
Yeah.
And I mean, things worked out for you and Dad where you ended up ultimately with some money. But yeah, I remember how tough it was, and you know, live your bedroom being an attic where bats fly around, and you know, mice crawling across the floor at night. I mean, living in an old
never had
house,
mice.
very small. Do what?
We never had any mice.
Oh, mice.
Oh, I thought you said mice.
Mice. Okay, Mom needs hearing aids.
Well, yeah.
That'll be an episode. Mom goes to hear. No, I might have
clearly.
said mites anyway.
Yeah.
But you know, the thing I'm trying to convince them of, and make them understand, is that it's incredible up here. It's beautiful. It's, you know, I've shown bits and pieces on my website. I try to show lots of video about what it's like up here. You know, you could do a thing on the Linville Gorge. You could, hey, I'm tired of working in the lumber today. Let's go hike the gorge, or you know, let's go down to Crabtree Falls, or let's go to some of these
Table
crazy
Rock.
places, Table Rock or Mount
Mount
Mitchell.
Bill.
And then we live in the highest mountains east of Mississippi. You know, we Roan Mountain. I mean, man, I recently just posted some more of that winter video we shot 4 or 5 years ago, and yet, just so to me, the area is absolutely fascinating. But they're not wanting to shoot a PBS special on Roan Mountain either. You know, we got Grandfather Mountain here. We got all these like mountainous, awesome peaks and gorges and canyon type things and wild waters and you know, you got bears crawling around on Dad's porch here, and you've got
The mining industry.
well, yeah, that whole mining industry thing is something that needs to be pointed out. Is that, you know, the highest quality silica in the world
Purest quartz.
starts here. You know, starts here. So your computer chip, your Silicon Valley in California wouldn't be at all were it not for Mitchell County, North Carolina. And yeah, so it'd be cool to educate people on that. Take them to see things like, you know, like the cool apple orchard, or Mike Hensley's blacksmithing, where they some of the highest quality blacksmithing in the world, probably, at least in the United
And
States.
the Mineral Gem Festival.
Yeah, Highland Festival. You see all you crazy Scottish people, and Tom can show them what he calls them, the McNaughties and the McNiceys or whatever they call them. So you can do a lot of things. Naturally, the awesome time of year to do it would be fall.
It's beautiful.
Dad is vacated. He's gone to smoke, I guess, and drink coffee and pee.
Well, like Tim wanted to go to the
Stove
University of
gas.
Montana.
Well, he did go didn't he, for a little while?
I worked in Montana worked a little
Montana.
bit, but I didn't go to school up there.
But-
So what's the hook there? Why you bringing that up?
Well, because they had the same curriculum at Haywood Community College here in North Carolina. Why go to Montana? That was a lot
Well,
of it.
sort of different, yeah.
That was not
Well,
much
and
of
they
it.
didn't have as many trees out there, though, did they, Tim?
Oh, they've got tons of trees. You got the varieties.
Species
But yeah, that's a whole nother.
story
Can
too.
you get around all that, Pop?
Yeah.
So Dad's rejoined us.
Anyway, I would be glad to help you anyway. I would love to see your career flourish and thrive, and I'd love to see us. I'd love to do something to make money. You know, the whole going back to the whole thing from my perspective is I have get discouraged as much as anybody does, and would like to do something to make a better living for myself, for my whole family, especially for my youngin, to make it easier on him and Joyce. But I do literally anything I can do to make a living.
Yeah, I know you do.
I
I sort of do too, bro.
I cut timber and stuff, and that is my main source of income. That's how I
But you do grading.
do some grading work, but I'm able to pull off and do different things if I see an opportunity. But it pretty much all relates back to what I can do with what the good Lord's give us here. I mean, you know, if it's rocks or if it's bushes or what. I mean, that's my angle all the time. Now,
Is how do you live off the land?
if somebody come to me and said, we'll give you $100,000 to go work on the cruise ship for 6 months, I'd probably take off and go, is the other things, just so I can come back and enjoy the other 6 months. But I mean, you know what I'm saying now.
But you gotta make a living.
Weird analogy.
Again, to me, it's fascinating. How does anybody afford to live up here?
Well, there's this big sign over there at the county line. I don't know if you noticed it or not, over at Crabtree. And it says, Mitchell County, Certified Entrepreneurial Community. And I think to myself, every time I see it, they hit the nail on the head that time. If you want a job, you're going to have to think of it yourself.
You have to come up with how you gonna pull it off.
And they're proud of that for some reason. I don't know why.
Well,
But anyway, I do, you know, I think about, yeah, I could leave and go and make more money, but I don't want to, I'd like for my youngin to grow up in a similar circumstance as what I have. As far as I'm concerned, it don't matter.
it's an awesome place to grow up. I'm glad Mom and Dad decided to move up here.
Yeah.
I mean, you graduate from college, especially with an English degree like I had. What am I going to do? You know, I don't want to teach high school English here in Eat By in Mitchell County. That's why I went down the mountain and I found whatever I could find. But you're right. Now it's a different time. Technology allows you to do about anything, anywhere. If you're in my kind of field, so that's why I feel okay about maybe making the move. Nikki's happy with it. She wouldn't mind coming back up here. But the thing I want people in Hollywood to understand is you got an incredible backdrop for meeting a lot of interesting people. And like you say, entrepreneurial community. How many people could we go visit with and talk to and introduce to the country that are very interesting, that have come up with ways to make it up here? A lot, couldn't we?
Mm-hmm.
You could, but there again, it's basically the same. You know, they're doing anything and everything. There's a few people that's hit big on one thing. You know, you have got big Christmas tree growers, but them people ain't going to want to fool with you because But the ones that have millions of dollars probably wouldn't be interested in doing something like this because they don't need it. They don't need the extra.
But you could still. I guess what I'm getting at is, man, people like Travis McKinney he's a freaking reality show waiting to happen.
He is.
But
there's no question that there's a list of people that's just unbelievable.
I mean, the cool characters you can meet,
Right.
people you know. I mean,
but how do you separate them from any other just rural people all over the country?
well,
I mean,
true.
every community I ever been in's got them people.
I don't know. People find me fascinating online because they think I sound like Forrest Gump. I think it's. Here's the deal. I don't think anybody knows really what the real hillbillies are. You could almost call it the real billies. I mean, because we're not what you think we are.
Right.
You know, we might talk with a Scott-Irish accent, which we all do.
Right.
And we might, live in the Appalachian Highlands, and people think that they have got a stereotype for what we are, but that's not what we are. Some of them are, you know. I mean, they got interested in Tim because Tim's got a beard. Well, I mean, I could have a beard in 4 weeks, yeah, but you know, that's not what Appalachia's about either. That's what they're looking to replicate another Duck Dynasty. And they think those dudes are cool because they got beards. Well, that's cool. Tim's just as cool without his beard, I promise you.
Every once in a while he does shave.
He does shave. He takes a bath once a week. But you know, I just think, you could have a show that could last 10 years, just meeting different folks up here. Yeah, I don't know how you feel about Woody's Chair Shop people. They have got world-renowned chairs. I would like to call Bill Simzik up and mention the fact that the Eagles record their vocals when they do their albums, their Grammy Award-winning albums.
Know he lives here.
Over here, maybe he doesn't want anybody to know he lives here. But it's cool that you know, the one legendary rock group, one of probably the top 10 ever in rock and roll, comes up here and records music in Little Switzerland.
Well, who was that football player?
Oh yeah, well you had Don Shula,
But
Don Shula still got, but you're still talking about famous people.
Well, to me, you're missing that.
You're missing the point,
because all you're talking about is tourism. If you want to talk about tourism, yeah, you can go down there to the Chamber of Commerce in Spruce Pine and get all you want about that. But who gives a crap about it?
No, it's got to be about life. But the reason I bring that kind of stuff up is that those are interesting facts that people would find out and learn during the course of it. I think music. Yeah, I would like to. Since I'm a musician, I'd like to, all the people that are pretty darn talented around here that nobody ever knows they even exist. You know, they live and they die and they're some of the best pickers in the world. Yeah. And nobody knows anything about
them. Doc Wilson one.
Doc Watson.
Doc Watson.
Yeah, Wilson. I got his name right. Doc Watson's dead too. We couldn't do that. But I don't know.
Red Wilson's who I was thinking.
Red's dead too.
I know it.
But you know, you bring up good points. Here's people that there's still people alive up in these little coves and valleys. I'm thinking you do it Mitchell Avery in Yancey County, and you just do the Mainland community. And you know, if they don't find us interesting enough, then shucks, man, I'll do a reality show for. So you know, I'll do it and start putting it on YouTube myself.
There you go.
But you know, if they're interested, I guess what they're looking for is they're looking for us to be like a gateway into, you know, can we introduce them to interesting situations? I mean, Lord knows we shoot lots of guns, we hunt, or at least you guys do. I haven't hunted in a long time. We survive. It's beautiful up here. It's harsh up here sometimes. It's different. It's just a different little culture you enter into. And I don't know. I have not seen it portrayed on television at all.
No.
I mean, I've not seen the Appalachian Highlands, which is what we're talking about. I mean the real Highlands, where the big mountains are east of the Mississippi, and they're a lot more rugged than you think they are. They're a lot scarier sometimes than you think they are. A lot more legend and lore. I mean, you could do a whole little episode at least on the Brown Mountain Lights. Mm-hmm. I know. So once again, you're talking touristy stuff.
No, not so much. That's more of a cultural thing to me. I just, I don't, like I say, I'm not interested in going around the places that's in the brochure.
Right.
What I'm saying is just like when you come wanting to take pictures of waterfalls.
You take me to the crazy
pools. The ones that
nobody goes to.
Nobody goes to, the ones that you don't see.
Tim knows a lot about the woods, and I mean, really, because you have to go out there and live in it and work in it.
Well, I just enjoy it. If you're going to be up here, your entertainment's pretty much got to be, whatever you can find. I do like to hunt and fish and hike, but.
Well, if they were to decide we're interested and fun enough to shoot video of and come hang out, the way the guy described it, it'd be about they could shoot a whole season of a show in about 4 or 5 weeks. So they're in, they're out. I don't know how much they want me involved. I might be able to work my job, just take certain days off, or I might can take, you know, that for one thing, I've got plenty of vacation saved up. I can come up here and participate for 4 weeks if I had to, and take 4 weeks of vacation. There've been people doing a sabbatical there before, and you know, I don't know how things are going to change. It might be that I, you know, unless I'm willing to move to Charlotte or at least start driving back and forth down there a lot, then I might end up being faced with, y'all know my situation anyway, I might end up being faced with leaving that whole mess and coming up here anyway and trying to make a life. And I don't think it's an impossibility. It might be hard, but I've still got plenty of work lined up, still got plenty of people calling, so. But we think Tom would be on board with
You know
this.
Tom would.
Joyce doesn't want to be on it at all.
I don't know.
You
She
never know,
does or
Joyce
not.
change her mind.
The wives are important, and the kids. I wonder how Candy would feel about it. That's kind of why Mary's on one Tom up here is to ask how's Candy feel about it.
I'm afraid that Joyce and Candy would be like the stereotypical hillbilly women. They're going to hide
Yeah.
the camera.
If you well, but they're all that. You know, you turn the camera on them enough, and they'll be. Yeah, I put a little family reunion. I just walked around. All I did was shoot just a brief little bit of the family reunion today, so they could see what the granddaughters and everybody looked like, what the clan sort of looks like, at least from the Glenn side. We ain't got the Mitchell side. They don't really get together that much anymore, do they? Ain't not anybody got.
Mitchell's left.
No, nobody to get together. So, you know, I want to at least get a picture or face or whatever. But yeah, to me, I think the Appalachian Mountains deserve a television show, whether it's us or somebody else. If it's not us, they might go to somebody else. I think it deserves it though. Now, if they're looking for redneck, they can find redneck. If they're looking for rough around the edges, big old beards, and plumb foolishness, you can find that.
But you don't have to live up here and be a redneck. That's
No.
your choice if you want to talk like a redneck.
Well, most
act
of
like a
the people up here are more like us,
Right.
and you know,
They're intelligent people. They're not stupid.
and most of the redneck people that I have encountered up here are from not here.
Right.
You know, they've actually moved here and decided they're going to act like a redneck. You know,
Yeah.
but we're the real thing. We're the real deal. You know, so maybe I'll just hush. Any more last comments? I'm gonna have to get on, shut these things off and go to work. But anything else you think?
No, like I say, I'd be glad to help you. I would hope to get compensated some
Yeah.
way.
Well, that's the thing. I don't know. I don't know what
Might
money.
be, if it works, I pay you royalties or whatever. I don't know how they do
Well, I would imagine it's the first season is do people even care to watch it?
Mm-hmm.
The second season, if you're a hit, that's when money might become more of a tangible thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not, like I say, the main thing I'm looking at right now, and this boy's looking at, that's talking to me online, is there even a show here?
Mm-hmm.
If there's a show, are the people willing to be part of it? That's the reason I'm shooting this today. Is y'all mind camera crews intruding on life, asking you questions? You know, the other thing that's going to come into this definitely, because we're Christians, is religion.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, the other thing I think could stand a good dose of it, and whether Hollywood cares to know it or not, is what a real Baptist is, because the Baptists are getting bad names around the country because the media hooks on to extreme weird Baptists. Up here, you're in Baptist country. Now, I mean, I know there's Presbyterians, there's Methodists, there's some Pentecostals, there's some Church of God. But for the most part, you're here where it's probably the most true blue Baptist people are. And a true Baptist is not judgmental, because we know we're not supposed to judge other people. We're supposed to judge ourselves. But we believe in the grace of God. We believe God's real. We believe God really acts in lives and watches out for people. And I could tell 1,000 stories about how God has done miraculous things in my life. Yeah, I totally believe in, so that's going to come out if they're going to hang around me. I figure with all 5 of us, and I would hope that is not something they shy away from.
Well, that's what I was going to say. If nowadays in the United States of America, we've turned so far away from God, I feel, that nobody wants to turn on a TV station and hear people talking about God, even if they're from the Appalachian Mountains. You know, but I'm not going to change my thoughts for any amount of money in the world. I don't need it. All I need is God. He says He'll take care of me, and that's all I care about.
Well, I mean, that's why, honestly, I think that's the secret to how almost everybody survives up here.
You're right.
Is God honestly looks out for us up
He
here
does.
because there are so many people, and I know there's fewer and fewer of the real devout people, but they're still here, and God still blesses this little area. You know, and most of these Scotch-Irish people moved from their countries for starvation and persecution.
Yeah.
And came and settled here. You know, I don't know why they decided maybe here's like
Because it reminded them of
the Highlands of Scotland, I guess. You know, the only place I've ever been in my life I felt like I could live besides here
well,
happily was when I was in Scotland. It seemed like I was almost home. You know, it really seemed like, gee, this is eerie. You know.
But you know, it's like when you went to Mars Hill and we went over there and visited. When they came here, they had absolutely nothing. They had no tools. They had nothing. They lived in hollow trees.
Were they elves?
Yeah.
Keep real. But I know what you mean. Yeah,
Yeah.
well,
Because they didn't have a house or
it
anything.
is miraculous how people
And
built homes. Yeah.
They had no tools. They went along the riverbanks, and where tree roots had grown, it showed how they cut them off and made rakes and things. They made their dyes and stuff out of different herbs and things that was growing. I mean, to me, it was amazing to go. Tim, I bet you never went and visited while you were at Mars Hill.
That was pretty cool. You're talking about the History Museum
Yeah.
at Mars Hill, yeah.
Of course I visited.
About our heritage.
Well, like I said, I ain't going to make them belabor this. We've talked long enough. I'm going to have to tear the cameras down and go down the hill and go to work. But so I'm taking all these a yes. You talk to Tom about it.
All right.
I'll just find out more details. First, the number one thing is right now, will they think that we're engaging, funny, cool? The thing I know is we can show them a lot of stuff. We can make something that's entertaining. You guys are funny as crap. When the three of us get together, I mean, it's kind of funny. It's weird, it's quirky.
And we may have to have some little footnotes for our terminology. Like crap. They may not know what crap is.
Well, everybody knows what crap is.
Oh.
And they're going to find out Daddy don't say much.
Yeah, but he doesn't say much with his
does.
mouth. It's his face that says a lot.
And when he does say something, he means it. Right?
Oh, Lord.
Well, if
Right,
he's,
Papa?
You say something?
He has hearing aids, but he wears them in his pocket.
yeah, but he hears more than you think he hears.
You better believe it. You can whisper and he can hear it. You talk loud and he can't hear a thing.
All
Right,
right.
Pop?
Well, find out if you can, find out from Tom how Candy feels about it, and because the girls are a big part of your life. You got the three blonde girls that could
We
play
got
a
little
part in it.
Samuel.
You got Samuel. If Joyce is cool with showing Samuel stuff, Samuel's going to be the little star attraction. Maybe at least as years go on, or if years go on. So, all right, I'll turn all this mess off. Unless somebody, you got anything else to add? Dad?
You'd think he was a mute.
All right, that's it.